Hi, it's Coach Gayl Benson, and I am ecstatic to welcome you to today's episode of Transformation Conversations. Come in and take a seat, get comfortable, because we're going to have a real conversation. We are going to see what we are listening to, and what exactly do you hear? Do you hear what I hear? Let's find out. Welcome to episode 13. Do you hear what I hear on Transformation Conversations? But first, let's do some quick housekeeping and greetings. Welcome in. If it is your first time, we are so glad to have you here. And I would love to just ask you to do me one favor to like and subscribe. Hit that bell where you'll be notified when we go live as a community to come in and have these conversations. Let's transform together. Let's take time to sit down and talk about some things that everybody pretty much don't want to talk about. We think about it, we keep internal thoughts to ourselves, but we never come together in a supportive community to have these discussions. Well, that's what we are here to do on Transformation Conversations. So I'm glad you're here. Come in, have a seat, get to know each other in the comments. Let's engage, develop, and grow together. So let's find out. Do you hear what I hear? Hmm. And what are you hearing? So, this discussion that I'm going to have tonight is going to make us think. At least I hope it does. Okay. So, I want to, and I'm talking about myself right now. You know, in my past life, you know, I thought about and I would see certain things working out for people. And I was like, man, I should have did that when I thought about it, or I should have did that when that first came out. But understand, I don't have a ticket to get on every ride. Every trend and every ride is not for me. So get comfortable so we can talk about this thing. And if you get a little uncomfortable, that's okay, because that's where you kind of wiggle around and start growing and embrace the development of having some of these not so conventional conversations, but having them in a safe place and space where if you have questions about some of the things you are experiencing or that you have been thinking, put them in the comments. Take the time to reach out. My contact information is in the description, and we are so happy to be available for you. So get ready to embrace a new start, because the beginning is anywhere you start. And I pray you decide to start today. Okay, so let's get into this. We see a lot of trends. There's a lot of things that people are doing, and it appears that they jump in and they take off and they're soaring. They're everywhere. They're going viral. They're getting paid on social media just for being a trend. But I'm here to share with you that everything does not have your name. And although it appears that that's working out for others, that just may not be what's lined up for you. See, I keep reminding us that we were made and created with pure intention, powers, gifts, your perception of what your life is. Everything that you need is intricately already existing in you. I'm sorry, I thought I kicked my grandkitty under the table. Lord have mercy. But everything that we need, we have inside of us. We get clouded. Our judgment, uh, the whispers that we hear, the perceptions of what we hear inside, that something that we've talked about in the past, this something just pulling you in this direction, or something just continues to make you keep talking about this one thing, or having you go to a specific place or read a certain thing. That's something. What is that something? You won't be able to discern what something is if you're distracted by every single thing that everyone else is doing. You cannot get to your destination if you're trying to ride with somebody else. That is their journey. And be mindful of this. Everything that looks like success and dressed up like success may not really be success. I'm just saying, don't get tripped up in the world of social media and presentations and displays and what you think it is. I did a video and it's here on YouTube called What It Looked Like. People fall in love with what it looked like, but no one really dives down into the layers to find out what is it really and how. How did it happen? How did it unfold? What was the sacrifice? Because some things look good on that end, but you didn't get to see the story. You didn't get to see the journey. So don't get caught up in what it looks like. Focus on your journey. This is how we get off track because we're looking at everybody else. And all I hear people saying is, I don't have time. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. But you got time that you dedicate to getting lost and going down the rabbit hole of social media, scrolling. I'm going to tell you something. I don't have anything against social media until it starts impacting my purpose. I don't have a problem with social media until I lose sight. And the problem is not even really social media, it's me. Social media exists, and I'm here because of social media. So, social media is not the problems, it's the lack of discernment and discipline when it comes to social media. I'm happy to be here on this platform that is allowing me to live out my dreams and allowing me to step both feet in, jumping knee deep every time into my powerful purpose. But if you get distracted, you will lose sight of what it is that you are supposed to be doing. You can't invest in you because you're too busy looking at what others are doing. Listen, I get it. Sometimes we use the excuse as, oh, I'm inspired by them. I like how they do things. But listen, you won't ever find out how you do anything if you are too busy consumed, constantly watching other people. At some point, okay, at some point, you got to dig in and do you. Or do you know who you are? Do you know how to do you? Do you know what doing you looks like? Because if you're distracted and you can't see what you're looking at, that was last week's topic. You're not gonna recognize what doing you looks like because you won't hear the guidance and the whispers. You won't have the discipline to perceive and receive the direction that you're getting about being powerful, impactful, and purposeful. That's a PIP moment, a PIP, baby. You want to be powerful, impactful, and purposeful. And if you're going somewhere where God didn't send you, you will not be pipping nowhere. I want you to get your PIP on, okay? Get your PIP on, but you have to understand and learn the tools. Take the time to connect and listen. So, what are spiritual tools to help you listen? It's taking the time to spend one on one time with yourself. The things that you're thinking about, the visions that you're having, you're trying to identify what your strengths are. Focus on your strengths so that you can grow and develop them. And as you step out in that strength, you'll begin to accomplish new things and you'll start learning new gifts that you have. I unlocked gifts that I didn't know I had, but I had to step out in my strength because it's going to change. It's going to change periodically. It does not stay the same. You do not want to be stagnant. You do not want to be at a point of delay. You want to get your portion. You want to be able to function in your powerful purpose. You want to be powerful, impactful, and purposeful. You want to get your pip on. But how will you know how to pip if you can't hear from the highest pip himself? Because if pipping was pipping, God know how to get you to pippin. Okay. I said pip. P-I-P. Ain't no M nowhere in there. Okay. For those of us that may be a little thrown off by what I'm saying, I said pip. P-I-P. Get your pip on from the pip master of them all, the greatest pip master of them all. You have to connect and be discerning to perceive his voice when he's talking to you to give you direction. And I should have said this at the beginning of the video is that I do not apologize for coming in and celebrating and giving honor to the God that has saved me. I will not apologize for being the God girl and giving honor and praise where it is due. I will never be worthy enough of all the gifts that He has given me and the grace and the mercy that God has shown me and allowed me to be sitting right here. I'm not going to dive into my story, but if you want to know anything about me and a portion, a layer of who I am and where I've come from and what I've overcome, Pressure is available on Amazon, Black Rose Books, and Barnes and Noble for your reading pleasure. Dive into a literary story that will encourage you to inspire, to do better, to be better, to believe in yourself and trust God in the process. There is beauty in your journey. Available now. Go get it. I love it. Anyway, let's get back on track because we don't want to be distracted because I'm not going to be a distraction. So back on track, how do you learn spiritual tools so that that can guide you and you can recognize your gifts? I know you see it, I know you hear it, but most of the times we are so full of doubt when that gift pokes at us and say, "Hey, I am in here. What are you going to do with me? I am still here." Because we give our time to other things so freely. Y'all be donating time and energy like nobody's business, but you don't pour that into yourself. Are we afraid to really spend time with ourselves and you know what I'm going to say, peel back that onion to really realize that a lot of times we don't even know who we are and what direction we're going in. See, we distract ourselves with other things instead of spending time with ourselves to be reintroduced to who we really are. Because guess what? We may not like it. I know I didn't. I did not like spending time with myself because it charged me with being responsible to acknowledging where I was and who I was, embracing that that's the space that I was in at the time. But the challenge of the responsibility to do something about it. Because once you spend time with yourself and you're like, dang, hmm, oh, it can get a little uncomfortable. I got very uncomfortable. But guess what? I didn't want to be there anymore. And I knew what I was being shown. I know the visions that I've seen. And it wasn't something that just happened overnight. I knew these gifts were with me for a long time, but I chose not to believe that I was able to develop and use those gifts. I did not believe it. It was easier for me to discount what God had intricately given me. it was easy for me to just live in the dark and be ignorant and not accept and receive my gifts. I had been running from my gifts since I was a child. And my mother had always talked to me from as long as I can remember. She was talking to me. She was preparing me. My God. She was preparing me from early on. I didn't know. She knew. And she was preparing me. And the more she saw me running from them, the more she talked to me, the more she shared with me, the more she guided me to my source, my energy, the more she guided me to God to seek Him, that only He could really develop me to help me embrace these gifts. I ran for years. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to stop this because it's just real. I told it get real and it get raw at times. The time I wasted running from myself. And then I sit back with regret when it's nobody's fault but my own because I had a teacher, I had a nurturer, I had my mother, and God knows He has been with me through some tumultuous times that I should not even be sitting here right now. And I thank God because it's only by His grace and His mercy that I am sitting here with breath in my body to share this with you transparently. I just want you to understand there is so much in store for you that is already residing inside of you. If you don't recognize yourself at times, it's time to sit down. It's time to be still. It's time to really reevaluate some ingrained limited belief systems because we go through life and we easily give into the negativity. We easily settle into the disbelief, the doubt, and we welcome fear without second guessing. We welcome it and we settle into it because we think it's too hard to believe in ourselves. We think it takes too much to push past the fear and the reluctance and the doubt, the imposter syndrome. When are you ever going to, at the gate, believe? We quickly abandon our dreams and we abandon a direction just because it requires us to put in work by reevaluating ourselves, seeing who we really are so we know what work is it that we need to do so that we can focus on our strengths and do the work that will have us living in our purpose. We discount it because of the commitment that it requires. Because sometimes your circle will get small. The commitment will require sacrifice. You may not be prepared to see things about people that you didn't see before. We're not prepared to let go of the things that look like they're embracing us, but they're really holding us back. Be careful of that embrace. Be careful. Is it embracing you or is it pushing you down? Is it embracing you or is it keeping you from elevating? Don't get comfortable in this because these are the things and the people that are doing these things may not always be holding you accountable, charging you to do more, charging you to see better about yourself. Sometimes they're just doing this to keep you right where you are. There will be no elevating for you because I'm comfortable with you being right here. So stay here. And I'm going to make this embrace comfortable as possible so that I can keep you here. So that you don't remind me of my own dreams that I've abandoned and on my own powers that I don't believe in. And you better not elevate around me and make me remember what I'm leaving behind. Stay here with me and let me embrace you so that you can be here with me. You all know what I'm talking about. You all know exactly what I'm talking about. Start peeling off those embraces so that you can set yourself free. Make sure that you elevate, but not at the cost of anyone else's journey. The journey is already yours. The price has already been paid. You just have to show up. Show up to do the work. Show up committed. Be prepared to make the sacrifices. Be prepared to invest money into yourself. Because God knows we'll have to pay ourselves to death for a girl's trip. We'll have to pay ourselves to death to get whatever fashions, designer bags, and shoes so we can look the part. We look good and we broken down on the inside. We look good to everybody else and don't even know who we are or who we're pouring our energy into. Reality is a mug. Spend time investing in you. You got to do the work. You got to be committed. It's going to require sacrifice. It's going to require money. And it's going to require you to be uncomfortable. Now, if doing those things, the work, commitment, sacrifice, money, and discomfort, if those five things, doing those five things consistently and seeking God while you're doing it, being discerning while you're doing it, will allow you to tap into your powers and your gifts and live in your legacy. Be powerful and impactful in your purpose. Getting your pip on, doing those five things. Why wouldn't you not do it? You know why people don't do it? Because it's easier to stay in the dark. It's easier to be in the dark and not know who we are. Is it easier? Because that's trauma. That's more trauma to me. Not knowing who you are, carrying around the biggest weight, the heaviest weight you will ever carry in your life is regret. Wondering, what if I had done that? What if I believed in myself just a little bit? What if I had taken one step? What would the other steps have looked like? What would I have experienced? Guess what? You and what will never know. You know you're powerful. You know you have gifts. There are things that you would love to see yourself doing. There are things you dream about doing. For some reason, you fear that you won't get validation from certain people or a community. You don't know who to turn to look for direction. You look up things on Google and you can't believe everything you find on Google because people have the ability and access to put everything out there. You got to line yourself up with the right communities if you want to grow. Iron sharpens iron, but that sharp iron gonna have to cut some things off once you get it sharpened. Because we could sharpen iron all day long, but if you're not willing to use that sharp to cut some things off, In order for you to grow and flourish, you got to espadrille, you got to prune, you got to cut some things off and back. We're not prepared to leave some things and some people and some places and some beliefs behind simply because they've always been there. You have the tools to pick and choose. You really do. You really do. You have the tools to pick and choose. I pray that I plant a seed in you that you will choose you over everything that you doubt about yourself. You need to affirm and take charge of your thoughts. How do you do that? Because you're not going to wake up tomorrow and just do it. It takes work. You need tools. You need a map. You need a plan. Line yourself up with the right community. Line yourself up with a mentor, with a coach. You may need counseling. You may need a clinical psychologist. You may need a licensed mental health counselor. But at any rate, you need to make the choice. It's based on what you want your life to be. It's based on what you believe that you deserve or what you believe you can have. Because I'm going to tell you something. It's people that have been around me and still around me that can't stand to hear me say, there is nothing you will tell me I cannot do. Nothing. Even if I don't know how to do it today, I have the ability to learn how to do it and be able to do it in the future. If not tomorrow, depending on what it is. Okay. Stop limiting yourself. Open yourself up to new opportunities and possibilities and people. Because I'm telling you, look around your circle right now today. Look around. All the dreams that you have are being weighed down right in that circle. Because if you were going to elevate with them right now, by now, you would have done it. And although they love you, they're not in your life to catapult you into your pip time, your powerful, impactful purpose time. Don't look for everybody to support you. All you need is your one true source, and that's God. And I know people fear being, alone or isolated, but baby, God got to get with you and get you by yourself. So when you hear his voice, you know it when you hear it, so that will guide you as you move forward in your journey. Now, listen, if you don't have no dreams and you don't aspire for anything, and hey, you on the wrong channel. I'm sorry to tell you that because what I'm here to do is to remind you to turn your light on. Don't let Motel 6 outdo you and leave that light on for you. You leave your light on. Turn your light on. Stop functioning in the dark. You ain't tired of stumping your toe and running into stuff and bumping into stuff. Turn your light on. Stop diluting yourself down so that you can swim around blind people who don't know their worth. Y'all know the story about the eagle. Eagle was hanging with pigeons. Didn't know he was an eagle. There's something inside. It's called instinct. Animals have instinct. Every last one of us. God created us. We all have instinct because we all have a purpose. Now, if you ignore it, that's the decision you're making. You not doing it is your decision. That's the decision. Not deciding is a decision. So what I'm here to do today is not wear you down because you've decided not to step out or believe in yourself and embrace that life that's waiting for you. Because no matter what I say, no matter if I come on here every Wednesday or not, and oh baby, I'm gonna be on here. Okay. But no matter what, you can't deny that something in you that's poking you right here and in your gut, tugging at your heartstrings. It will never leave you. It will never be quiet. It might sit back and watch you, but it will always come back and remind you that it's there. You know why it's going to always be there? Because it was given to you by God and your spirit is attached to Him. So be discerning. Do well with the gifts that you have been given. I don't want you to live a life like I did in the shadows, hunkering down, just being comfortable with mediocrity and going along with the status quo and what has always been done, not demanding boundaries for myself and just being good time Gayl for everybody else, but not stepping into being what I always saw myself being. My childhood dreams are playing out in front of me right now. And God, I thank you because I had to go through something to get here. I had to damn near not be here to be here. Yeah, you all have an opportunity. Tap into your powers. Be impactful. Be purposeful. If you don't know what that looks like, if you don't know what that is, maybe you think there is really nothing for you to do. I'm here to tell you that's simply not the truth. It's simply not the truth. And if you're willing to take the journey, to take that step, cross that threshold, I promise you, once you cross over, baby, once you cross over and you see what's waiting for you, and the momentum continues to grow, and you start having these experiences, you start having these connections, you start meeting these people, and things will start coming to you simply because you decided. Simply because you believed and you listened, you took direction and you trusted and you believed, baby. I am honored and I'm blessed. I'm thankful and I'm grateful that I can look back on that other side of the threshold that I was so fearful of. But when I got over there and I realized how powerful and impactful and purposeful I am. And God is still developing me. And I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'm forever a student in this gift. And you know why? Because I align myself with people. I align myself in a community that encourages me, that develops me, that gives me the tools to have my light on, to have myself accessible to people who are also looking for their tools. My journey is simply a survival guide for somebody that's trying to find their way. I've been in the dark. I bumped around in the dark for a long time. And I thank God that I'm not there anymore. And I want to share my light with you so that you can find your way too. Because your best self is on the other side, trying to guide you out of the darkness. You just need the proper tools to find your way. You need a map. You need a map and you need some tools. So if you're interested in taking that step, reach out to me. My contact information is in the description. Let's have a conversation. You can do a 15-minute consultation with me and we'll find out what's the right path for you. Do you need counseling? Do you need a mentor? Do you need a coach? Whatever that is you see for yourself. Those dreams can be thriving businesses. Those dreams can be a new way of life for you. And you deserve that. The pathway has already been laid for you and the price has been paid. You just need to believe. Believe that the beginning is anywhere that you start. So stop letting fear and doubt cut people off that are draining you of your resources and leave you emotionally and physically drained. Take that sharp iron that you've been trying to sharpen, cut out a way for a new path for yourself. Cut off the things that are draining you and not serving you at all. What and who are you serving? What and who are you serving? Think about that. Because we'll be back on episode 14 to talk about it. Absolutely. We will be back next week to talk about that. What and who are we serving? I hope you enjoyed this quick discussion tonight. I tried not to be long. I wanted to be really dedicated to the message that I was given to share with you tonight. So listen, if you have not already, please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe so we could come back in here next week and get notified when we're on and we can come together as a community and coach through life on our journeys together because we do need support. We do. We need support. That's why we're here. No one is here to be alone. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's discussion. Thank you for coming on to the transformation conversation where we just coach through life together. Let's transform together. Turn your light on. Trust and believe in your powerful, impactful purpose. Get your pip on. I love y'all so much, and I will see y'all next week. Love you. Bye.